Listen to me very carefully. This is not a feel-good motivational speech. This is a strategic notification. The kingdom of heaven operates on a system of logistics that would make the most advanced military on earth look like it's playing with toys. And right now, the command center has issued a direct release order. God says heaven has released a major financial blessing with your name on it, and the order is to open it immediately. You've been watching the 17% inflation eat away at your dreams. You've watched the globalist elites manipulate the currency, try to push you into a digital cage, and tell you that scarcity is the new normal for the middle class. They want you focused on the collapse, but they forgot one thing. The chosen one does not live under the jurisdiction of a failing central bank. You live under the jurisdiction of the King of Kings, and your supply line just went active. Why now? Because you passed the blind test. You stayed loyal when you were broke. You kept your middle-class integrity when everyone else was cutting corners. You proved that you won't let money become your master, and because of that, you are now qualified to be a master of money. This isn't just about paying the bills. This is about operational independence. God is releasing these funds because He needs parallel systems built. He needs the remnant to have the capital to stand their ground when the world goes dark. This blessing is vetted. It's secured, and it has been dispatched. But there is a catch. Most people miss their suddenly because they are looking for a lottery ticket instead of looking for a strategic door. In this video, I am going to show you exactly how to recognize this release and how to open it immediately before the enemy tries to jam your frequency. The hiding season is over. The supply drop is on the ground. Stop looking at the mainstream fearmongers. Check your spiritual inbox. The release is here. The system wants you to think that wealth is a zero-sum game. They want you to believe that if the globalists win, you must lose. But the Creator is a wealth realignment specialist. He doesn't need the Federal Reserve to agree with him. He doesn't need the World Economic Forum to give him permission. When the major financial blessing is released, it bypasses their gatekeepers entirely. This release is happening because you are no longer a consumer. You have become a steward. Think about the way you handled the squeezing of the last 2 years. You watched your grocery bill skyrocket. You watched the interest rates climb, and you felt the economic noose tightening. But instead of complaining, you started calculating. Instead of fearing, you started fixing. You proved that you can maintain a prosperous mindset even in a poverty environment. That was your final exam, and your results were excellent. Heaven is releasing this blessing with your name on it, because you are a safe harbor for resources. God knows that if He gives a bonus to a slave, the slave will just spend it on vanity to feel better about their chains. But if He gives it to a soldier, the soldier will buy ammo, supplies, and territory. You are the soldier. The release is manifesting in 3 hidden channels that you need to open immediately. The first channel is the redemption of stolen equity. There are things that were taken from you 5, 10, even 15 years ago. Maybe it was a business that failed because of a corrupt partner. Maybe it was an inheritance that was tied up in legal red tape. Maybe it was overhead you lost to a system that cheated you. God is force-closing those cases in the courts of heaven. You are about to receive a suddenly settlement or a random payout that you had given up on. This isn't luck. This is retroactive justice. The second channel is the shift in market discernment. God is giving you the blueprint for the parallel economy. You're going to have a sudden idea or a deep conviction to move your resources into a specific area, a piece of land, a certain commodity, or a new business venture. To the world, it might look risky, but with your divine intelligence, you'll see it's the only safe high ground. Opening this blessing means acting on the intuition without waiting for the experts to approve. If you wait for the mainstream to tell you it's safe, the opportunity will be gone. The release requires haste. The third channel is the arrival of the silent investor. There are allies who have been vetted by the king, and they are looking for someone with integrity. They have the capital, but they don't have the character. They are looking for a chosen one to partner with. This major financial blessing might arrive in the form of a partnership that gives you 100% of the control with 0% of the debt. Why you? Because you are unhackable. You've already shown that you can't be bought by the system. Are you going to keep acting like a beggar who is afraid of the 17%? Or are you going to realize that your name is on the manifest of the King's supply ship? The release is not a theory, it is a logistics reality. But listen to the command center warning. Do not use the blessing to go back to Egypt. If you use this money to buy into the elite's lifestyle, you will lose your edge. This money is for operational independence. Use it to build your fortress. Use it to secure your family. Use it to fund the counterattack. The hunter has become the hunted. The slave has become the sovereign. And the debt has become the dominion. The suddenly is happening right now. In the next part, we are going to look at the immediate action plan to open the release. This is the part where we stop praying and start executing. The radar is at 100%. The supply is landing. Open it immediately. Most people wait for a financial blessing to hit them like a lightning bolt. They sit on their porch, watching the Globalist news, praying that a check will magically appear in their mailbox. But that is the mindset of a victim, not a chosen one. In the kingdom, a release is a door that has been unlocked, but you are the one who has to turn the handle and walk through. To open immediately means to move from a state of passive waiting to a state of active occupation. Heaven has released the supply drop, but the enemy is trying to jam the signal with your old fears. Think about the way the system operates. They want you in a constant loop of analysis paralysis. They want you checking the interest rates, worrying about the 17% inflation, and asking the experts for permission to breathe. Why? Because as long as you are analyzing, you aren't executing. And as long as you aren't executing, the blessing stays sitting in the warehouse. The immediate opening of this blessing requires 3 strategic moves. The first move is the severing of the debt identity. The elites use debt as a digital leash. They want you to identify as a debtor, someone who is always under the system. But God says the major financial blessing comes to those who have already severed the cord in their mind. You have to stop saying, "I can't afford that," and start asking, "How can I strategically acquire that for the mission?" The moment you stop thinking like a tenant and start thinking like an owner, the frequency clears. The blessing with your name on it is attracted to authority, not poverty. Open the blessing by declaring that your economic sovereignty is no longer tied to the failing dollar, but to the kingdom's master plan. The second move is the execution of the hidden idea. For months, You've had a hunch, a random idea about a side hustle, a property move, or a way to solve a problem in your local community. You've been putting it off because you didn't have the capital, but listen to the command center logic. The capital follows the movement. Heaven doesn't fund potential, it funds momentum, opening. The blessing means taking the first step on that idea today. Make the phone call, register the name, sketch out the plan. When you move, the release that was dispatched 3 years ago finally has a GPS coordinate to land on. The Creator is waiting for you to engage the gear so he can flood the engine with the fuel you need. The third move is the targeted counterseed. The system tells you to hoard during a crisis. They want you in a scarcity loop, holding on to every penny because you're afraid of the total collapse. But the chosen one knows that seed breaks the drought. Opening the blessing often involves a strategic gift to someone else who is on the front lines. I'm not talking about a religious donation to a faceless organization. I'm talking about logistics support for a remnant brother or sister. When you release a small amount of supply during a squeeze, you prove to the heavens that you are a flow-through station, not a dead end. Heaven releases major blessings to people who can handle major distribution. Do you feel the static in the room? That is the sound of the enemy's globalist frequency, trying to tell you that this is too good to be true. He wants you to stay in the hiding season. He wants you to stay small and compliant. But the radar doesn't lie. The supply drop has cleared the atmosphere. It is hovering over your life right now. Why is your name on it? Because you are the one who didn't bow. You are the one who didn't trade your soul for a government check. You are the one who kept your middle-class dignity when they tried to make you a victim. You are vetted. You are approved. And you are certified for this level of prosperity. Are you going to keep staring at the 17% and the fear-based headlines? Or are you going to open immediately? The hunter has become the hunted. The system is shaking because it knows that once a chosen one becomes financially independent, they become unstoppable. You can't cancel a man who owns his land. You can't control a woman who has kingdom capital. The master plan is in the activation phase. In the next part, we are going to look at the final payoff of this financial release, the parallel legacy it creates. We are going to look at how this blessing sets you up for the great restoration of your family tree. The supply is hitting the ground. Turn the key. Open the door. The release is yours. When the major financial blessing hits your life, it's not just about a numbers change on a screen. It's about a strategic, structural shift. Most people in the world are praying for money to escape their life. They want to escape the bills, escape the stress, or escape the 17% inflation of the city. But the chosen one doesn't pray to escape, you pray to establish. That is, and you are opening this release so you can build a parallel legacy that the globalist system can't touch. This is the final payoff for your endurance. Think about the middle-class heroes of the past. They didn't rely on government handouts or digital credits. They relied on land, skills, and community. They had a fortress mindset. The master plan for this financial release is to give you the brick and mortar to build your own fortress. Whether that's literally buying property or metaphorically securing your family's future through independent capital, the goal is total autonomy. Why did God put your name on this specific drop? Because He saw you in the wilderness, and He saw that you weren't just surviving, you were architecting. You were making plans for the future, even when the system told you there was no future. You were researching alternative systems, while everyone else was watching bread and circus on the screen. The release is the capitalization of your vision. The parallel legacy manifests in 3 strategic zones. The first zone is the redemption of the family tree. The elites hate the strong, independent family. They want your kids dependent on the state, and your grandkids dependent on the grid. But this financial blessing is your legal fee to buy back your family's freedom. It's the home school fund. It's the family business seed. It's the trust fund that ensures your legacy won't be inflated away by a corrupt central bank. When you open immediately, you are signing a declaration of independence for everyone who carries your last name. The second zone is the territorial stronghold. Heaven is releasing these funds because it needs chosen ones to own the high ground in their local zip codes. You are being given the resources to be a pillar in your community. When the total collapse hits the mainstream structures, your house, your business, and your parallel network will be the safe harbor. You'll be the one with the storehouse. You'll be the one with the plan. You aren't just getting rich, you are becoming a governor of grace. The third zone is the counterattack fund. Let's be honest. It takes supply to fight a war. The system uses billions to spread fear and compliance. The chosen one uses this major blessing to fund the truth. You'll find yourself able to support the independent media, the constitutional leaders, and the faith-based organizations that are actually on the front lines. Your bonus is the ammo for the remnant. Do you feel the weight of this moment? The globalists have their great reset, where they want you to own nothing and be happy. But the Creator has his great restoration, where the chosen one owns everything necessary and is empowered. This is the hunter becoming the hunted. The system tried to use lack to make you small. Now, God is using abundance to make you large. They wanted you scared. Now, you are sovereign. But listen to the command center final briefing. The blessing is a tool, not a trophy. If you treat this major blessing as a trophy to show off, you'll lose the anointing that brought it to you. But if you treat it as a tool to build the parallel legacy, the supply will never run dry. The major release with your name on it is just the first wave. As long as you are building the fortress, the logistics drops will continue until the mission is complete. The suddenly is no longer on the way, it is at the door. Are you going to keep acting like a victim of the 17%? Or are you going to open immediately and start occupying? The blind test is done. The results are excellent. The release is certified. Your name is on the manifest. The king has signed the order. Open the release. In the next part, we wrap this all together with the final commission and the action protocol to secure your double portion. The radar is glowing bright. The supply is landing. This is your moment. We have reached the extraction point of this message. You have seen the logistics, the anatomy, and the legacy of the major financial blessing. Now, you must receive your final commission. The master plan for your life has entered the capitalization phase. No more making do, no more scraping by, no more hoping for a break. The break has arrived, and it has your name on it. The world is entering a season of great shaking. The old systems are proving to be sand. but you are standing on the rock. And because you are on the rock, you are the only one who can pull others out of the quicksand. Your new orders are simple: reclaim, restore, rebuild. Reclaim the ground that was stolen from your family. Restore the middle-class dignity that the system tried to destroy. And rebuild the parallel America that will stand when the globalist towers fall. This major blessing is not a luxury, it is a liturgy of liberty. The Commission. Go back to your finances, your projects, and your community as an authorized steward. The hunter has become the hunted. The lack has become the leverage. The scars of your struggle are now the seal of your authority. Do not look back at the wilderness with longing or fear. Look forward at the promised land with strategic focus. If you can feel the weight of this financial release hitting your spirit, if you know that heaven has released this blessing with your name on it, then I want you to comment with the number 999 below. Let it be your digital signature on the release order. If you feel you are still in the squeeze and you need more tactical guidance, comment with the number 0. We are here to help you clear the frequency and find your supply drop, or share a suddenly financial breakthrough you've already seen. Your testimony is the blueprint for someone else's breakthrough. And finally, make sure you are subscribed to this channel. This is the Parallel Financial Network for the chosen. We don't do scarcity, we do sovereignty, strategy, and strength. The release is open, the supply is yours, the command is live. Stand up, open the release, and live as the chosen one. God bless you, and God bless the remnant who are taking back the ground.